your latest update tonight on all the negotiations about your second stimulus check and especially about unemployment. This is our live recording every day answering your questions on air about unemployment, UI, PUA, FPUC, UI, enhance, extended unemployment benefits, enhanced unemployment benefits, and more. Also, the issue about retroactiveness of FPUC currently under the current proposal, and the issue of retroactive FPUC in the January proposal. I'll have all those details and more. But first, this. In a rare occurrence that I rarely ever do on this channel, I'm going to be giving you a teaser of a major world exclusive bombshell, which is going to be revealed on Evening's Check after this video. Evening's Check tonight will have a shocking bombshell that you have never heard and you will never hear anywhere else, anywhere in broadcast news. It is a world exclusive only to this channel that concerns the second stimulus package. It was taped minutes before this recording. It does not concern your second stimulus check, so that's why I have no problems teasing you about it. It has to do with the second stimulus package as a whole. It does not have to do with your check per se. I will tell you what it's about. It will finally answer why the repurposing of CARES Act 1 money has not occurred. I will finally uncover for you and reveal to you why CARES Act 1 money has not been repurposed in the recent weeks. That shocking bombshell comes up on Evening's Check right after this video. It usually is a 6 o'clock video, but I may bring it out a little earlier because it is so shocking. So please watch Evening's Check. And I'm not holding the revelation in the video itself late into the video. Right after opening music, you're going to hear it about the 2-minute mark right in there. You're going to hear your jaw is going to drop. And mine did too. So with that, let's get to your second stimulus check with Congress. No deal. No deal. No deal. And they're worse off than they were this morning as time has gone by. You know, from mornings to Lalate that was live, and then holidays to Lalate that was live, and now being a Mitch, which is live and simulcast with my wonderful people on Instagram, they are less at a deal than they were earlier today. The reason why they're not at a deal is because of that provision, which is really quite interesting. That provision is a line in the sand. The provision is becoming 100% partisan. 100% of Republicans in favor of the provision, 100% of the Democrats against the provision, and unless they find a solution, there's no deal. The question is, how long are they just going to sit around and say there's no deal? The viewers of this channel were asked the question earlier today on Holidays LA, deal or no deal, take it or leave it, and the viewers 9 out of 10 said don't take it, do not take it, and just say, you know what, give us a real normal deal in January, January 15th. 9 out of 10 viewers said no deal when I asked the question. Where you are tonight with unemployment is the following. Let me get to unemployment. The unemployment situation is your UI and PUA are set to expire in late December unless your state has not done something. That your states are doing something in some states, and other states are expected to do something if Congress does not act and get this done in the next day or two. State unemployment benefits can be extended by states by what's called extended benefits. States have under their constitution a right to give additional weeks of UI benefits when the governor or the state legislature believe there's an urgent need because of an emergency or a rare occurrence. This is that occurrence. And so the way it's done is the governor calls for your state legislature to have a emergency call to vote, and they call that vote and they vote on it right away. There is a sort of, there is an issue about the holidays, there is an issue about New Year's, so they need to get that done relatively quickly. What's important for when you do state extended benefits, I've not said this before, and this is really important, this is the first time you're hearing this, is that for extended weeks of state benefits, the states are using their money. So there would be no wait for you to get the money when the states extend the benefits. Let me say that another way. if you're currently about to expire on December 14th, on December 21st for unemployment benefits, for example, then if the states extend it all the way to January 30th, then there would be no delay for you receiving your money from your state because the state would send it out the way it normally sends it out. There's no wait because the state is using its money. So if if the state always pays you on a Tuesday, then the state would pay you the next Tuesday. The problem when we're talking about Congress taking care of this is that when Congress is paying the bill for the states, the money has to go from Congress to the state and then from the state to you. And that could be a delay of a month, sometimes 2 months. It could be as fast as a few weeks, but it's not a few days. It's not 10 days. And so you would hope that your state does extra weeks of unemployment, extra weeks of PUA. Now, the PUA thing is a little confusing, and you've seen me sort of dance around that a few times, not because I don't want to answer it, just because it's a little strange. PUA is a federal instrument. PUA is unemployment paid to people who are independent contractors, gig workers, Uber, Lyft, Grubhub, if they do it right, sole practitioners. And PUA expires in late December. Now, a state cannot extend a federal program. There is no such thing of PUA under the state. PUA was created by CARES Act 1 and it goes away in December. So what will a state do for you if your PUA expires and they want to extend UI, but they also see a problem with the PUA? States have two choices: just not to do anything with PUA, which I don't think they're going to do, or put the PUA people onto UI, or just pay the PUA people as though they are PUA-ish, and send them a check. So bottom line is my guess is that if your state is extending the UI people in your state will also extend the PUA people in the state as well. Now, escalated benefits. Escalated benefits you can do at any time. The only time you can't do escalated benefits is certainly during the Christmas weekend or New Year's weekend. So if you want to get escalated benefits in, get it in right now. Don't wait on it. And finally, FPUC. FPUC is still paying for the months of March to July. So if you're waiting for your application to be approved for weeks that you were unemployed from March to July, that is that you're still going to get FPUC from March to July. That was the $600. You're not there was one or two states in the last few days that said they made a mistake on LWA, so they're paying an extra week of LWA. I don't know what that is. But the new FPUC, the new FPUC being proposed by the proposals of the Secret Society, of the Secret Group of Four, that is FPUC going forward. It's bad FPUC. It's FPUC going forward. They're not paying you retroactive FPUC. They're having you sort of forget that you had 30 weeks unpaid of FPUC since July. And there, I see a lot of tweets about martial law and the president. Has the president tweeted something scary since I went on camera? If the president tweeted something scary, can you drop it in the comments? Because I've not seen that tweet yet. So there you go. If he has not, then I just know it's a troll. um, Oklahoma has put a hold on UILWA distribution until Congress releases more funds to states. Oh, that's real charming, Oklahoma. Thank you, Oklahoma. An interesting development I saw minutes ago was a report that said McConnell had sort of rushed in a vote for some agency nominations, like Department of Energy or something like that, and they need a certain number of senators in the room to vote for it, and there were 12 missing, 12 senators missing. So those votes could not pass, and Mitch was not pleased. What the reason why that's important for you is that we thought that all the senators and the congressional leaders were still in town. Apparently, they didn't even listen to Nancy and Chuck. They actually left. And so, you know, the congressional leaders are not only so lazy not to send you out a stimulus check, but they're so lazy to even ignore the instructions of their boss. They got lost, as Tina says. No, they actually left. They're at Chuck E. Cheese or something for the week. I don't know. They're missing. They're MIA. They went to the Bahamas for the weekend. They literally left. They are not there. So Mitch was not happy when he called a vote for something that had nothing to do with stimulus today, and there were 12 people missing. He's like, "Where is everyone? Where are you, lobster honey? Where are you?" Gasp! They're at the lobster party. It's just they're at the casino. No, they would not let them in the casino. They would just be. They're not allowed in the casino. So there you are. Um, for your UI and PUA, the most important thing I always remind viewers is continue to certify for benefits. Don't stop certifying for benefits. Certify every single week, and don't miss a week to certify. Um, and there you go. The push for the stimulus, going back to Congress now, and the stimulus debacle, the push to get that stimulus check revised or higher or bigger, the oxygen is being eaten up by this scandal about this language that is apparently now front page news everywhere. Um, and and once again, the front page news is sort of not delivering the right messaging, which doesn't help you. So broadcast news is saying Congress is further away from a deal and may not get a deal because of a battle over some language. So that's how they're reporting it. It's, the stimulus check is suddenly was front page news a few hours ago, and now it's sort of falling in the coverage, and that's where we are tonight. And then, so with that, any questions you have about unemployment, any questions you have about UI, PUA, escalated benefits, or enhanced unemployment benefits? Anything happened for Philadelphia, Pennsylvania? They're working on a massive stimulus package. I didn't look that up. Um, High voltage here is at the casino, saving a seat for Lalate. I appreciate that. Wow, the room was 800 when I just went this way and then went back up here. It's 1,000. I was like, I moved my head 1 inch and changed 200 people in 1 second. That's really weird. Drinking some beer. Listen to my buddy Lalate. Well, appreciate it. What type of beer are you drinking? What type of beer is it? Um, sorry, I was hungry, Sir Lloyd. Oh boy. Any questions about UI? Can Trump do an EO executive order? Of course, he can do executive order. Absolutely. What is Virginia stimulus? Virginia stimulus. There is no stimulus check, but viewers have gotten rent in Virginia for stimulus. How exactly do I apply for escalated benefits? I sent them a message online. Haven't heard back yet. Okay, so if you sent the message online and you sent them your tax return, and you said, I want to inquire and see if can get additional weeks of benefits. I hope you did not use the word escalated benefits, because I say that always in all the recordings. Don't use complicated words, use simple words. Don't use escalated benefits. If you've not heard back from them, then call them on the phone. One of the things I always say in all the recordings is call them the next day on the phone, call them the day after that on the phone, keep on calling them on the phone. This is unemployment department. So you can send them a letter and never hear from them to 30 years from now. So you have to call them on the phone. They are not particularly proactive people. You need to call them on the phone and then keep on calling them and calling them and calling them until they get it done. Um, Stimulus for New York. Yeah, so you got rent stimulus approved. Um, Tacos? Someone said tacos? Yes, of course, tacos. It is impossible to reach tier two people at the PUA office. I don't know who that is. What's the PUA office? Uh, Democrats are using stimulus to buy Georgia Senate seats. I think the Republicans are giving them the Georgia Senate seats by the way they're talking. Um, Send us money. We need stimulus. Amen. Says Amen, Yolanda. January's no guarantee either. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Don't they know it will benefit them to help the people? Um, uh, their mindset is really off whack. Their mindset is really off whack. I don't know what they really understand and what they don't understand. Um, I need to know as much info as possible. Well, we all do. So I need to know as much info as possible. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Anything for the full state of Texas. Yeah, viewers have gotten rent in Texas. I'll cover that on Purple Power Live tonight. Viewers have gotten rent across the entire state of Texas. Absolutely. Rent help for Los Angeles County. Not from the county itself, because they had one before, but yes, from privates. We can trick them by sending them free lobster dinners. I think I'll just put them to sleep. You send them free lobster dinners. That's not going to trick them into much. What about Oklahoma? Um, I would look at the nonprofits. I would look at the nonprofits. Would you increase your debt to feed your kids? Um, was this double jeopardy questions tonight? That's a hard question. Um, got denied EIDL. What was that? Got denied EI escalated benefits, and I made 30,599 in 2019. Terry, well, how much in weekly are you being paid? You have that range. How close to how close, where in the range of your state's benefits are you getting paid? Um, California doesn't have anything. Not well, the state may have nothing, but viewers have gotten rent across the entire state. Viewers have gotten rent stimulus throughout counties all over the state, and that is from the counties and also from 237. That's pretty low, Terry. Um, that doesn't make sense. I would call them up on the phone and ask them why. That doesn't make any sense. California has rent stimulus all across the board, and it's from the nonprofits. 237 after taxes. So three. What's the highest in your state, Terry? What's the highest in your state? Four fried chickens. Maryland here. Uh, I got to be only Wyoming guy here. I don't know what that means. West Virginia, of course, viewers have gotten big rent in West Virginia. Louisiana, viewers have gotten rent from Louisiana from the State Housing Authority. Absolutely. Um, LA United Way and Salvation Army. Um, is Pennsylvania helping with stimulus? They are. I heard New Jersey was passed. Someone sent me the letter. Michigan has stimulus. Are you watching the videos? I did 3 videos today about Michigan stimulus. I don't usually do a video about a state's own stimulus. It was like 3 minutes about Michigan stimulus. Of course, Michigan has stimulus. Catholic Charities. Oh boy, it's moving really fast. Oh my. Uh, Pennsylvania viewers have gotten rent stimulus in Pennsylvania. I see a few people who are putting messages that says there's nothing in this. I really wish that people would stop saying that because it's categorically untrue. I don't know why the persons want to say that. The reason why it's not cool to say that is one, it's wrong. Two, it's telling people not to look for things. Three, it's basically telling other people to perhaps not look for things in their cities as well. And every time someone says something like that, it's really just not good. It's just not, good communication with other people. Um, when people, drop in the comments, there's nothing in Florida. There's nothing in California. It's untrue. It's absolutely untrue. And no one should be dropping comments like that because when there's someone 2 inches above you that says, "Hi, I got $10,000 in your state," um, and it's just not really cool to do things like that. To continue to say there's nothing in my state is absolutely untrue. And I it, it there is if it's a state in which you're having problems finding something, certainly say I'm having problems finding something. What do you where can I find it? That's fine. But don't drop in the comments, there's nothing in this. It's just wrong. And I've seen four people do it in a row. And it's really not cool because it specifically states where people have said in the last 24 hours they've gotten thousands of dollars. And last night it happened on Purple Power Live. It was actually quite hilarious. Someone said they had gotten rent in Ohio, and the person two lines low said, "There's nothing in Ohio." I'm like, "Did you just read the person above you?" The person above you said they just got, I think it was like $4,000 Ohio. It's so please don't say there's nothing. It's just not cool because it just discourages other people from looking. I always use Tyrone, who's a father, who's a married man, who's a tough guy. And he sent me the DM, 1 week into this video, and he said, "Thank you for telling me to ignore all the no's out there." He was in Massachusetts, which was a big, there's nothing there. The very first 3 days I did these recordings, and he said, you told me to ignore the no's," and he went and got $14,000 of rent. It was either 6 months or 8 months of rent. And he said, "Tell those people to zip it where there's nothing there." So just there you go. Um, uh, yeah, after you watch this broadcast, you can replay it taped. The video is also available taped as well. So if you miss anything, you can play it back as well. If you have questions about a particular state and rent stimulus, state stimulus checks, utility stimulus, food stimulus, and similar, um, drop those on Purple Power Live, which comes up tonight at about 7 o'clock. That's the daily recording in which I go over questions about state stimulus. Terry says, "I would like to send the email the unemployment sent me." Um, yeah, I mean, you could DM me. I'd be happy to see it. It's interesting because 330 doesn't sound like you're at the low end, or 340 doesn't sound like you're at the low end, but it also doesn't sound like you're at the high end. I don't know what the high end is. Maybe you had dropped in the comments. I couldn't see because I was rated on something else. Do you have to apply for state stimulus? That's a great question. So if it's rent stimulus, yes. If it's utility stimulus, yes. If it's food stimulus, yes. If it's toy stimulus, yes. If it's just a stimulus check, then no. But as I say in all the videos, you should not be sitting back and saying, "Just wait and skip me the stimulus check," because the stimulus check generally is not anything, is this small compared to the rent stimulus that is this big. So the things you apply for are the ones that are really, really big. Um, I never got to see the tweet if Trump was saying something about martial law. I guess that was just a person having his own particular comment. The problem about going live is there's always someone that says, "I just heard." I'm like, "Wait, what is this you just heard?" But here's something I just heard, which is actually true. It's not fake. It's real. A new CNBC report out minutes ago says is detailing what they're reporting tonight from London. Very, very, very scary news. And new research, medical research out of London tonight reveals that there's a new strain of COVID-19. That new strain of COVID-19 spreads 70% easier than the current strain of COVID-19. It does not mean it kills you quicker. It does not mean it makes you sicker quicker. What it means is that the new strain, the new mutation, the new version of COVID-19 that they've identified in London spreads 70% easier than the current version of COVID-19. What that means, and yeah, you should be concerned about it. They now identify that current mutation, that current version of COVID-19 identified in London as the reason why London saw an enormous spread in just 7 days. A 60% increase in their COVID infection rate in just 7 days, they now attribute to this new strain. Again, the new strain spreads 70% faster than the current mutation, the original version of COVID-19, making it easier to transmit. They would not explain why it was in what way it was easily transmitting, whether it was transmitting by air easier, by hands, or by breath. They didn't identify in the news report because they are still analyzing it, but they do confirm there's a mutation, that the mutation spread 70% faster than the current mutation, that this mutation is overtaking the prior one, that this mutation is overtaking the other one because it spreads faster, and that the current mutation is more responsible for the fastest for the current infections now in London. Not good. And here in Southern California, they're warning people to just not go indoors anywhere. They're recommending you not to go indoors anywhere and to stay home at all costs. And I hope that people really understand this. They're telling people just not to go indoors to places. It has been it has been an implication to your ability to do things around the holiday season. But if you don't have to go indoors to a store, don't go indoors to the store. Yeah, I know it's bad news for retail. I know it's bad news for small business, but don't go indoors to stores, because not because of the people around you, but also because the circulation of the air in the air ducts stays in the system. There was a whole analysis done by the air ducts by Cuomo in New York, and so they're telling people in Southern California, don't go into stores unless you have to go into stores, and that's it. So with that, I join me on Evening's Check, which comes up right after this. I may deliver it out live faster. Let me ask you this. Do you want to see the bombshell for Evening's Check sooner tonight? I can drop it earlier, or I can just drop it at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, the usual time, which is which is 9 o'clock on the East time. Do you want to see it earlier, or do you want to see it at its usual time slot? Yes, yes. And then the screen froze. Drop it now. Earlier, earlier, earlier. Okay, I'll drop it as soon as I can drop it then. It's taped, so I'll drop it as soon as I can drop it. It may be about 15 minutes from now. And get ready for it. You're going to see in that recording, again, the spoiler of the teaser of what this recording is. I will explain in this recording for the first time ever in a world exclusive why they're not repurposing CARES Act 1 money. The CARES Act 1 money is not being repurposed, and for the first time ever, you're going to learn why it's not being repurposed, and your jaw is about to drop. And it has an implication that is tied to this weekend's events. Really shocking. Stay tuned and watch for that video. That's the Evening's Check video, and then I'll be back live with you on Purple Power Live shortly thereafter, probably around 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay LA for more.